introduction to We Deal in Lead. And then we could create some characters and then run through the playtest scenario, if that's alright with everyone. Cool. Alright, so I'll start with an intro. So We Deal in Lead is a dark Western fantasy TTRPG based on, or heavily inspired by, The Dark Tower, the series of novels from Stephen King. So it's set in a post-apocalyptic world that's similar to ours, but with some major differences. So it's a mix of fantasy, Western, sci-fi, horror, and it's based on Cairn, which is a lightweight D20 roll-under system that's in turn based on Knave and Into the Odd. So I'll read out the principles of the Drifted World just to kind of set the scene. So that's the setting for We Deal in Lead. The world has moved on. Forces once thought immutable shift, and the borders of time and space grow thin. Opposing realms bleed into ours, creating pathways in reality. The old ways bubble to the surface, bringing with them chaos and madness. The Gunslingers. So once a symbol of order and feudal authority, now only a few remain. The guns they carry remain a powerful sigil and mark them as gunslingers. Secrets. Secrets are worth seeking out, but all are well guarded and dangerous. And some mysteries will never be solved. Technology. Remnants of the world that was lay abandoned everywhere, most broken and corrupted. Vast machinery stirs underground, driving the gears of reality. Magical knowledge. The knowledge of most magic is lost, and the use of magic draws unwanted attention. Magic is wild and unpredictable, with behavior changing from one world to another. The slip doors. These are gateways between worlds, some forever lost and others in plain sight. They pierce time and space, but only open for the right hand. And death. Death is the clearing at the end of the path. Spirits gather in places of the dead. Only a corpse may speak true prophecy, and death is but a door, and may lead to other worlds than these. Okay, so we'll start with Gunslinger creation. If everyone's ready with the character sheet. All good to go. Okay. Right, so first is if you have the PDF in front of you, great. If not, I can kind of walk you through the tables. So the first one is a D100 roll for a first name on the name and background table. So if you have if you don't have the table in front of you, then let me know your roll, and I'll tell you what the name is. All right. So do we have first name?
And I rolled a 56.
56. All right. So that is Louis, Louis. So if you're happy with that, or feel free to re-roll.
Okay. I am Berthold.
Berthold. Excellent.
Berthold.
I am Phoeba, Phoeba.
Okay, cool. So the next one is surname. So that's another D100.
98.
98. So that is Wilkerson. So that would be Louis Wilkerson. Nice.
It's a fairly Wild Westy name.
Yeah. I took these names from the most popular, or from a list of popular names in the 1900s.
I am Maxfield.
Maxfield.
Yeah. Names. Yeah.
Berthold Maxfield.
You go by Bert.
Bert Maxfield. I also rolled Maxfield.
Oh, nice.
Brothers!
I'm down for that. That's cool.
Yeah, awesome.
I like it.
So next stage is pronouns. What pronouns do you think your character would use? I'll start with Louis.
He's fine.
And Bert.
He.
And Phoeba.
Phoeba is a she.
All right. So Bert and Phoeba Maxfield. All right, cool. Next is a D10 for background. So this is basically what your character was doing before they became a gunslinger, and it'll form some skills and flavor stuff.
Sweet. I have a 10.
10. So you were a grunt.
Sweet. Great.
Nice. Jeremy and Kent, what were your backgrounds?
I rolled a 4.
4. So that's stranger.
I have a 7. I'm a killer.
Oh, nice.
Oh no.
Brother and sister, stranger and killer.
Wow.
Sounds like in this world all gunslingers are killers, though.
Yeah. Maybe just put a bit more effort into it.
A little extra. Extra on top.
Hey, if you love what you do,
Yeah.
in your life.
Cool. So next is we might as well move on through the next tables as well, just so it flows a bit better. Age. So it's a 4d12 plus 10 to determine age.
Okay, I am 36.
36.
It's actually not that far off from how old I am.
Phoebe got 30.
30. Okay.
Yeah, and I got 31.
Oh, okay. Okay, big brother.
Oh, we all went
Just
to high
by that
school
one
together.
year.
Next is gunslinger traits. So these ones are all d10s. So the first one is physique.
Okay, got a 3.
That's diminutive.
Where does that go on the sheet?
I haven't made a space for the traits yet. You can put it in notes potentially if you want.
I got a 4.
For physique is lanky.
I got statuesque.
Statuesque.
What is statuesque
It's
like to you, Colin?
generally like tall and imposing.
Okay, sure.
I know potentially there's it could be a loaded term.
I think it's less loaded than killer, so I'm okay.
You're fine. Well, you get to be statuesque where your sister is just lanky. So you're tall and like majestic. I'm tall and just like, yeah.
Yeah.
You want a tall drink of water.
Cool. So the next one is skin. So it's a D10 as well.
Ah, here we go. And I got my own. I got my own PDF back open, so I don't have to keep bothering with you each time.
That's all right.
My skin is drawn.
Smooth.
I rolled a 1.
So birthmarked. Again, any of these, if you don't like the sound of it or you don't think it matches your character, then feel free to re-roll or to pick one that suits it better.
I might change out of being a killer,
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, I'm cool with going along with the rest of the process.
Cool. Yeah. Have a look at the background, and then just if you already have kind of a character in mind, then just pick one that best fits. Next is hair, so it's another D10.
Roll through the rest of the tables.
Oh, okay, cool.
On my own.
Mhm, yeah,
but
no
I got
problem.
wispy for that.
Cool.
I got matted hair.
Matted.
And I got wavy.
So yeah, after hair is face, and then eyes. So yeah, if you guys want to roll through the tables, but I'm interested to see the results as well.
Yeah, I'm going through them. I think that was a good idea.
Cool.
And we can tell each other what we look like.
The grand reveal.
How far do you want us to go? Clothing, virtue, vice?
Yeah, all the way up to reputation and misfortunes. So
Perfect.
yeah, for misfortune, this is kind of open ended, so you can interpret that the result however you like, and again, feel free to re-roll if one doesn't fit your character. And we'll finish up at misfortunes, and then roll for abilities.
Nice. I got the dice telling a fun story here.
Awesome.
So I just changed my background to outlaw.
Okay.
And you know, I can be reputed to be a killer, but I don't feel like playing a mean or cruel character today.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, and I got the rest of it done
Cool.
through the end of that. I believe I can maybe put it in the chat if we have a chat thing.
Yep.
Looks like we do. Yeah.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bert Maxwell. Is it Maxwell or Maxfield?
Oh, it's Maxfield.
Right.
I just mistyped it.
That's
Whoops.
all right. Outlaw.
Oopsie.
Statuesque, drawn skin, wispy hair, elongated face. Yep. Melancholy. Precise. Wearing bloodstained clothing, is humble yet condescending, which is a nice, nice combination.
Yeah.
Reputation for being wise and was abandoned at one point in the past. So the abandoned. What aspect in how were you abandoned?
So I'm traveling with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm an outlaw, maybe I did kill someone. But maybe it was like, let's see. Maybe we were doing some legitimate work, and then I killed someone in self-defense,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rest of the group said, "See ya," and I'm the one that got, like, you know, the wanted poster or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So
Cool.
yeah.
Makes sense. All right, so for Ryan, we've got Lewis Wilkerson, 36-year-old grunt, diminutive physique, smooth skin, wavy hair, bony face, melancholy eyes, whispery speech, comfy clothing, is courageous yet bloodthirsty, which again is a nice combination. Reputation for being damaged, and is wanted, or has the misfortune of being wanted. So what shape or what form does that take?
So I think I love these random tables because then the way that it can just build these things. So I think that and I interpreted less a reputation of being damaged,
Mm-hmm.
and his reputation was damaged.
Okay. Yep.
I think back in the last war, there's always a war.
Yeah.
In the last war, I think he was, like an LT or a lieutenant commander or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant, sorry. Courageous, likes to lead things, and he made a bad call and got 3 or 4 other guys killed. And so he's wanted for deserting because that ruined his reputation. That's why he's so, emaciated and melancholic. And he's known as this hero that just completely shit the bed.
Cool. Oh, good. I like it. And Kent, what is FIBA like?
All right, let me see if I can paste this in here.
All right, so we got FIBA Maxfield, who's a stranger at 30 years old, lanky, birthmarked with a sunburst on neck. Interesting, very very cool. Matted hair, square face, menacing eyes, gravelly speech, flowing clothes, is ambitious yet aggressive, has a reputation for being driven, and has been condemned in the past. Interesting. So what form does that condemned take?
So I don't think it's anything as serious as she committed like a serious crime.
Mm-hmm.
But more like I guess condemned, maybe condemned by like society. Like
Mm-hmm.
The last place we were where we just left, where we were kind of doing work. She didn't really get along with everyone. She didn't really fit in. Maybe kind of transgressed their sort of rules, and was more or less like shunned
Okay.
by everyone. She's
Cool.
sort of like overly aggressive and kind of takes what she wants and does what she wants. and she's kind of scary. So they're probably like, we don't really want her around.
Cool. It makes a good pairing with Bert, like a good contrast. That's yeah, cool. All right. So I'm just gonna scroll back up to the character creation area. So the next thing to roll on is ability scores. So this is based on Cairn, which uses 3 ability scores, modified. So strength, dex, and heart. Heart takes the place of will. So strength is your standard determinant of how physically strong and resistant you are, but also it's used in critical damage saves. So it's how tough you are, like resilient to damage. So having a high strength score is useful. Dexterity is again standard agility, sneaking, reflexes, and doesn't have a lot of bearing on other saves or other features. It's just a good all around ability. And then heart is your persuasion, intimidation, but also it determines a lot of gunslinger order mechanics. So when you shoot your gun as a gunslinger, you roll on the shoot table, and sometimes you'll, like in a duel for instance, you'll need to make a heart save when you're drawing your gun, because in the world of the Dark Tower, a gunslinger doesn't shoot with their hand; they shoot with their heart. So to reflect that, you roll on the heart table when you're in a duel, and it also determines how well the gunslinger order, the fellowship of gunslingers, how well that stays together. So to determine ability scores, it's just roll 3d6 down the line, and then you can swap any two. So strength, dex, heart, 3d6 for each, and then you can swap 2 if you want.
Okay. Well, I rolled 3 5s, so I think I'll leave them where they lay.
All right.
I got pretty good ones. I got 15, 17, and 11.
Wow.
Which is like incredible for what it could have been.
Do you?
And I'll just leave them there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Wait, did I misunderstand? Do we roll 3d6 and then one of those dice goes into each one, or do we add the sum?
Yeah. So
3 times.
That's right. Yeah. So you add the sum 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have a 15 on.
I have a 15 for something.
Oh right.
Got
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
I'm actually going to switch my dex and strength because I want to be statuesque.
Nice. Cool. That fits. Yeah. So it would be 3d6 for each ability.
Got it.
And Kent, how's Phoebe looking?
Yeah, so I got a 10, 8, and a 4.
Oh, oh no.
I think, yeah, I think that maybe I want my heart to be higher.
Okay.
So I might switch for strength.
So I have 4 strength.
4 strength and 10. Yeah, 10 heart.
10 heart. So 4 strength. Was it 8 dex and 10
8
heart?
dex, yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay. So Ryan, are you good for your...
Yeah, I got really lucky on my dice. I got a strength and dex of 15 and a heart of 18.
Wow.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
3 6s. Devil's number.
Wow.
Nice. Right. So that actually leads us on to so there's in We Deal in Lead, there's the concept of the Fellowship of the Gunslingers, or the Gunslinger Order. So generally there's a lead gunslinger called the Errant Gunslinger. And it's it's a discussion between the gunslingers who should be the errant. It can be the person with the most experience, like character-wise, or the oldest, or the person with the highest heart score. Generally, the errant will guide or kind of aim the order at their next quest. It's not really a hierarchy, but there are mechanical implications for being the errant. If one of the gunslingers dies, for instance, or if you lose one of your guns, then you have to make a check against to kind of maintain the fellowship of the order, and that's done by rolling a heart save for the errant. So the way saves work in We Deal in Lead is it's a roll under. So you'd roll a d20 and hope to roll under your ability score. So with that in mind, who do you want, or who do you want to be the errant of the group, or do you want an errant? Some groups choose to have like a cooperative rather than a single errant.
And my only thing is, I think, given the backstory that showed up, I don't think Lewis would take a leadership position.
Okay. Phoebe or Bert, anything? Is there anything that would speak to you to being the errant of the group?
I think that Phoebe would probably really want to be, which is probably why she shouldn't be.
Okay.
If you have a higher, oh my god, I think you should do it. Actually,
okay.
I think you should do it because I think that's fun, and yeah, I think you should do it.
Okay. All right, Phoebe.
So Phoebe's the errant. Okay. So there's a so you can determine, or you can choose the name of your order. So it's usually the order of, and then it's kind of, the names are based on the inspired by the Major Arcana tarot cards. So Kent, if you want to roll a d20
right,
to determine the name of the order.
Okay, let's see. I got a 14.
14. Oh, interesting. So it's the Order of Old Scratch.
Oh boy.
So yeah, the devil, the tarot card, the devil. So if you're happy with that, or you can choose something else or reroll.
I dig it. I think even if it is ominous, it's a fun storytelling mechanic to why
Yeah.
would you call yourself that?
Yeah.
I like it.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. So next is grit. So grit in We Deal in Lead is the HP mechanic. That's the name for HP, which in Cairn is hit protection. So that means it's how likely are you to be damaged, essentially. So in We Deal in Lead, it's your capacity to endure and survive in a world that's moved on. So it's 2d6 for grit. 5.
Okay, I'm gonna find a different dice roll because this is maxed out again, and it doesn't seem fair or fun. Okay, I'll take that. I then re-rolled a 6 and a 1.
6 and 1, so 7. Cool. And Kent?
I got a 9.
9. Cool. So grit, it's a bit different from standard HP. You can lose it quickly, but you can also regain it quickly. So when you take damage in combat, that affects your grit first. Once it hits 0, then you start taking damage against your strength. So it's kind of like a buffer. But you can spend a moment after combat. You can spend a moment just to rest and regain your thoughts, and then your grit will go back to full after that. So once your grit reaches 0, any additional damage goes against your strength, and you need to make a critical damage save to basically to kind of stay in the fight. So your strength would get reduced first by any damage, and then you'd need to make a strength save with that newly reduced score in order to kind of stay up and in the fight. And if any attack takes you to exactly 0, so say you had 7 grit and you took 7 damage, then you roll on the scars table, which is it's both a kind of cool stuff that can happen in the world, but also it's advancement for your character, because being reduced to exactly 0 doesn't happen very often. So you can roll and have strange things happen, but you can also come out a different person at the end of it, or stronger, or changed in some way. So if any attack does reduce you to exactly 0, then we'll roll on the scars table.
Say exactly 0 grit or strength?
Grit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if any of your abilities get reduced to 0, then there's different things that happen. Like if your strength goes to 0, then you die. If your dex goes to 0, then you're basically incapacitated. And your heart goes to 0, then you're catatonic. Next is starting gear. So unfortunately we'll have to switch back to the table at the back. And then there's another round of tables to roll on. The first first is the gun, which is always interesting. So it's a d6 to determine what type of gun you have. If you have a specific kind of character in mind, then feel free to pick one, or you can roll to see what comes up.
I got a 1 for that.
1. Cool, so that's dual 6-shooters.
Oh, okay.
I got a repeater.
Oh, nice. And Ryan?
I got... Sorry, 1 second. I also got twin 6-shooters with mother of pearl handles engraved with a hawk.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, if you want to roll in your embellishments as well, that'll kind of just put a bit more personality on them.
Oh, wow. My engraving is also a hawk. So.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
Very nice.
And the handle is leather-wrapped bow.
Same engraving. What does it mean?
Oh my god.
So for the for items, there's in We Deal in Lead, there's like a slot-based inventory system. So every item takes up 1 slot unless it's bulky, and then it takes up 2 slots. So the slots are the dots next to the item in the character sheet, and it'll automatically tally your inventory. As the twin 6-shooters, because there's 2 of them, they take up 2 slots, and the repeater does as well, because you have to hold it in 2 hands.
Got it.
Right. I'm going to share my screen out here, because I've got the next is the hats table, and I've got a picture of hats.
Wow.
Oh man, I know which hats I want. Let's see if it's what I get.
Okay, so
All right.
I have a silver handle, and I have hawk
Wow.
as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I mean, I feel like our order is that we're in the hawk now.
I actually kind of want to envision this character with a rifle.
With
so
a
I
rifle.
want to change to that. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I can be different.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be that the hawk is what drew you all together to be to form the order.
Or it was a sign that we were destined.
Yeah, absolutely. The in the lore of the Dark Tower and the lore of the world of We Deal in Lead, hawk is God's gunslinger. So it's a powerful symbol.
God or Old Scratch.
Yeah. Okay.
I also like the idea of smacking people with a rifle.
Yeah. Okay, next is armor.
And the hats do not take up a slot, correct?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it would be a bit a bit too cruel to have a hat take up a slot, since it just sits on your head. Yeah, so it's D20 for armor, The reinforced leather jacket is 2 armor. Everything else is 1 armor, except for no armor, which is obviously no armor.
Okay.
Ooh, I like it. Waxed
Yeah.
cotton duster.
Cool. And the padded poncho takes up 2 slots because it's bulky, but it's also warm.
And the little spots next to armor, I take it the dots are for how much inventory space it takes up.
Mm-hmm.
What's the box next to it?
That's the armor value of the armor.
Gotcha.
So it'll be, if it's waxed cotton duster, it'll be one armor.
It's 1. Okay.
Okay, and the next is secondary weapons. All of them, or sorry, the spear and the sledgehammer are bulky. Actually, just let me double check on the spear. Yeah, spear is bulky, but you can throw the spear as well.
The machete bulky?
No, machete is just 1 slot. And machete is a d6 for damage.
It's the saber. Damage.
Saber is d8.
Same. Okay, that's what I got.
Cool. Okay, so next is expeditionary gear. So that's a d20. And for these items, all of these are optional. So if you want to keep a slot free in your inventory, then you can just disregard.
Is there a specific spot for hat, or we just put it on our inventory and we don't?
Yeah, you can just put it in inventory and then just not tick the box. Right? Tick the
Got
dot.
it. And we can we fill as many or as little expeditionary gear as we want, or just 1?
Just 1 for now. There's
Gotcha.
there's a bonus item later on that might get you another expeditionary gear item. But if there's something that specifically calls to you on that table, then feel free to pick that instead of rolling.
What is grease like in this world?
So it's it can be used for basically whatever you want to use it for. You can use it to to give you an extra additional bonus on opening a door, for instance, or like picking a lock.
Oh, I was just wondering, like, what color is it, and like, does it have a container? Things like,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll be in a jar, and it'll be like oil-based grease, so it'll
Okay.
be black.
Okay, good to know. I didn't know if it was like beef tallow or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It can, if you want a specific type of grease, then
No,
then
thank you. It's fine. The like a petrol grease would be fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got leather cuffs.
Oh, okay. So that, I think that I don't have any specific bonus or use for that. Let's see. What do I?
I
So
know in
it's,
the early description it lists that as something that could possibly change your armor.
because I have in the description saying that it's protects wrists while using ropes and pulleys. That's just kind of the practicality of having wrist cuffs. Let's say it'll protect you against slashing melee attacks.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're in a knife fight, for instance, or if someone has a knife with you, then you get a bonus to your armor because of that.
I got steel toe boots.
Cool. So a similar kind of situation. If there's a situation where you think you could benefit defense-wise from steel-toed boots, or if you want to kick down a door with it, then feel free to kind of use that in that manner. Right. So next is tools and trinkets tables. So D10 for each. Trinkets are mostly flavor. But there can be mechanical bonuses and benefits to them as well. Again, these are for Karen and for We Deal in Lead. If something makes sense, if you want to use an item in a way that that kind of just makes sense to do it, then absolutely go ahead and do that or try it. The compass is a bit of an unusual case because of the nature of the world. It's unreliable. So it won't always point to true north. It could point to other significant discoveries or disruptions in the world.
Nice. I got a multi-tool and a harmonica.
Awesome.
Oh, I got a harmonica too.
Ooh,
Yeah, harmonica
duo.
Nice.
I have a guitar,
Oh, cool.
which I imagine is bulky.
Um,
Maybe not.
I'll say
bulky
it's
is an armor tag.
bulky is kind of if it takes two hands to use, or if you need to. Yeah, but with the guitar, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily be using it in combat.
So would it be one inventory slot?
Yeah, I'll say one slot just because it's not
Okay,
really
thank
heavy
you.
enough to warrant two. Yeah, we've got a musical group. And then the bonus item, if you want, you can roll on that to see if you get a different piece of armor or a different weapon, or another piece of expeditionary gear. Again, this one's optional, so you don't have to.
Armor or weapon.
Mm.
But we really only wear one piece of armor at a time, so like,
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's the if I roll something better. But everything that's more than one armor is bulky, right?
Yeah. So like
So I'm not going to bother.
Okay.
Okay, so I can upgrade mine to a reinforced leather jacket,
Oh, nice.
which I'm going to do.
Cool. So that one is bulky, but you get an extra piece of armor or an extra point of armor with it, which is
So
good.
be two total, or
Yeah, 2 total.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So the way armor works for melee attacks, it will reduce the amount of damage that an attack makes, because it's the system's based on Cairn, which is you don't roll to hit; it's just you roll for damage. So your armor will mitigate that damage, except when it comes to guns. Guns bypass armor, so that works for you and for the enemies.
So I had a question about that. The early in the book it says that the Gunslinger, capital G, can bypass armor, and then it says guns bypass armor. So I mean, is it all guns bypass armor, or is it everyone with a gun is a gunslinger?
There's gunslingers and there's harriers. A harrier is a failed gunslinger. So gunslingers and harriers roll on the shoot table, and if you roll on the shoot table, then that means you bypass armor. So if you've just got someone who's found a gun, they're not going to be able to shoot well enough to bypass the armor. So yeah, if you go to another world that has guns, those guns won't bypass armor.
Gotcha.
I rolled for my bonus item another tool. I got a gun care kit.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
So gun care kit, if your gun gets damaged, so if on the shoot table there's a small chance of a misfire, and there's a small chance of damaging your weapon if it misfires. So you can use that to repair a gun. Otherwise, you'd have to find a gunsmith to repair it.
Alright.
So it's useful to have. Okay. So yeah, so I've talked about weapons or the damage. So yeah, standard weapons get reduced. Armor reduces a standard attack. What else is there here to call out? Yeah, you roll on the shoot table for guns. So it's 2d6 on the shoot table. So there's range increments are abstracted. So you've got close range, short range, medium range, long range. So the guns, handguns or the 6-shooters are short range. The rifle is going to be long range. And the repeater is medium range. So it's kind of in the same room across the street. Down like further than that is long range, just to keep it a bit simple. One thing to mention is that each gun has a capacity, so how many shots you have before you need to reload. For 6 shooters, it's 6. For the repeater, it is 4, I believe. Guns table. Oh no, sorry, repeater is 10. So you got 10 shots with the repeater, and then with the rifle, it is 4. So what I recommend to track ammo, or to track how many shots you have, is 6 shooters, take a d6, and then start it on 6, and then for every shot, just reduce it by 1 until you're at 1, and then you know you'll need to reload. So the last thing to roll on is to determine how much lead you have. So lead is both currency and ammo. So everyone starts with 3d6 lead, and 1 lead is equals a reload of your weapon.
And lead takes up just 1 slot.
That's right, yeah. So you can just gather it all together. So if you have, your rifle, for instance, to reload the rifle would take 1 lead. To reload the 6 shooters, take 1 lead. Just to keep it simple.
Luckily, I got 2 little d6.
One thing to mention as well, in combat, if two gunslingers are attacking the same target, you roll your damage, both roll your damage, and then take the higher result of that damage roll. And same with if there's 2 enemies that are attacking one gunslinger, they would roll their damage and then take the higher of those rolls. So it's like advantage for damage. That's how multiple attackers works with Karen.
And I read something, and I just don't remember what it is. When using the twin 6 shooters, is it that you roll twice and you get advantage essentially?
Yeah, that's right.
Or so you shoot one and then you can shoot the other, so you essentially just have 12 shots instead of 6.
Exactly, yeah. So okay. with the 6 shooters too, you can attack 1 target or 2 targets. So 1 target you'd attack with both guns and then take the higher result, or 2 targets, roll your damage roll twice. Yeah. Oh yeah. So for gunslingers and for enemies, once your grit is reduced to 0, then any additional damage comes off of strength. So that's for monsters and enemies too. So you have to reduce their grit first, and then you can start attacking their strength. And every additional piece of damage, they need to make a critical damage save to see if they'll stay in the fight. Okay, so that's the character creation, and that's kind of the whistle-stop tour of the specific rules kind of that are different from standard Cairn rules and standard like D20 system rules.
So Colin, what motivated you to make the system? Was it just the love of the genre, or
Yeah, because I think primarily it's my love of the Dark Tower, and I wanted to make a TTRPG system that was based on the Dark Tower, and having a Weird West or post-apocalyptic West role-playing game I thought would be pretty cool, and having made Rune Cairn and adapting Cairn to that, I thought it'd be a good system for this as well.
Yeah, it fits the setting really too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it works really well.
I'm pretty excited because I just got the Weird Frontier DCC.
Oh, cool.
Book.
Yeah.
But I don't intend to play DCC.
Yeah.
Just as it's just more than I want as a GM.
Yeah.
I'm GMing,
Yeah.
But yeah, I could use this to run that material.
Yeah,
it'll
absolutely.
be really fun. So
cool.
Yeah. This is a cat.
Oh.
Hello.
I like the shirt.
Oh, cat in the shirt.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, cool. So, I'll set the stage for the adventure. So, the unthinkable has happened. Severn Stevens, a former ally and member of your Gunslinger order, betrayed and killed Isaac, your leader and steadfast friend. You've hunted this traitor for weeks, finally tracking him and his ragtag posse to a ramshackle village, Swampwater, on the edge of the Bleached Desert. So, Isaac was your former errant, and Severn was in your order as well. So after Isaac died, Severn fled, and Phoebe was made errant. So that kind of fits with the kind of reluctance or the hesitation in becoming an errant, because you had an errant who was killed. So you're now outside of Swampwater, having tracked Severn and his crew here. So the ramshackle village, it's hastily constructed, now falling apart and mostly abandoned. The village lies half submerged in the fetid waters of a swamp. Gouts of fire spew as a grinding, rust-riven oil derrick burns endlessly at the center of town, filling the air with acrid smoke. The churning oil derrick screams and grinds as ancient machinery struggles. What buildings remain are rotten and crumbling, though movement is visible in some. A crumbling saloon sits across the square from the derrick, and in the distance a shack built on stilts is visible at the center of the swamp, on the edge of the village. Right, so Order of Old Scratch. What would you like to do?
Well, Phoebe, what do you say?
Well, okay, so, so I think we should approach from surroundings. Like, is there any sort of like high ground or like raised area we can sort of overlook everything?
Yeah, so there's a hill right next to the village. You can get I'll say that you'll like be on the hill, because you would have gone there to view the surroundings. So it's right next to the village. It's raised up slightly above the ground, gets you not quite a bird's eye view, but at least higher view than normal. So you can get a good visibility of the village and the swamp.
And as far as any recent like signs of life, you said it's mostly abandoned. But do you see any like tracks or trails, anything like marks of horses or carts?
Yeah, so you can see it's a well-trod village. A lot of the tracks are quite old, but there are fresh tracks in the last couple of weeks or so, and you can see signs of life in the village itself, albeit sparse. There's some figures. You can see shadows in some of the crumbling buildings, and you can hear movement. Even from this distance, you can hear movement coming from the saloon off the square.
Okay, I think that may be. We might just want to go into the saloon and just start turning over tables. I mean, maybe not literally, but like just sort of asking around, I guess.
Sure. So from here, you can see that the saloon doesn't. It looks to be in pretty poor shape. There's one door missing and the other's hanging off the hinge. So there's movement inside, but it doesn't look very frequented.
Mm-hmm.
There's two doors.
Yeah, it's like saloon doors.
I see.
Yeah.
Does there? I guess I don't know the angle that we're looking at it in, but I'll just kind of say I can check around back and make sure no one slips out behind.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds good.
Sounds like a plan.
So are Phoebe and Bert going to go in the front, and Lewis?
Oh, so Lewis around back. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no back door.
Yeah, you can. There's a back door. You can see through into what looks like the kitchen or the back room of the saloon. It's just filthy, overgrown with dirt and growing mushrooms, stuff that's blown in from the swamp. Through the back, you can see into the front of the saloon, and you can see the kind of behind the bar, and there's an odd shaped thing moving back and forth behind the bar. It's tough to see exactly what it is, but it's too big to be human, but it is humanoid shaped.
So I'll sort of just stay here at the door frame where I can keep an eye on that and the front door to look for the other two, and I'll take my cue off of what they do.
Okay. So Bert and Phoebe, do you enter the saloon from the front?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think sort of look around and see if there's any like make sure it's not active, like see if there's any patrons or workers there, anything like that.
Yeah, so from the front you can peer in, and you see an abandoned saloon with patchwork walls and ceiling. There's sparse tables spread out over a dirt-covered floor. You can smell a rancid, earthy smell of mold and stale beer. There are 3 rotting wooden tables with mismatched chairs, and at the bar or behind the bar is a rust-covered robot that's about 7 foot tall, wiping down the bar. You've seen beings like this before. They're pretty rare, but not like you have seen them in the past. They're remnants of old civilizations. This one is just overgrown with rust, and it's also covered in fungus that's growing up its arm. And as it's wiping down the bar, it's spitting up spores from the fungus into the air.
Phoebe's gonna take her like shawl. She doesn't have any armor. She's just got like a sundress and a shawl.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna take her shawl, just kind of pull it over her like face, I guess, to not breathe in any spores.
Yeah, you've been around this type of fungus before. You know it's generally not too harmful as long as you don't breathe in a whole lot of it. It just kind of a little bit of exposure is okay, but you wouldn't want to live around this fungus. Bert, what would you like to do as seeing?
Do I know if the robot speaks, or do they usually do?
They usually there's some kind of like interaction with them. Yeah, they're usually meant for like servants or used for servants.
Does there look to be an owner or like a person? Like, yeah, does it have an owner? Do I think?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Like it's acting pretty independently. They normally just drop these, or they used to drop these things into towns and.
Yeah. So I'll try to recall this gunslinger lore. Like you do the throat thing and thanky sigh or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't that like So try to speak high speech.
Okay.
And yeah.
So
it's
you're
like,
gonna.
Hey thee thou.
Yeah.
Thou wast serve this place, or or does thou own it?
So as you call out to it, it kind of it stops wiping down the bar and it turns to you, and it raises its arm, and it says, "Howdy, what can I get ya?"
We'll have some sarsaparilla if you don't mind.
Howdy, what can I get ya?
Phoebe turns to her brother just like shrugs, like, oh.
Yeah, I will. Sort of seeing this, I put the guns back in their holsters and come in through the back. But I do want to keep a good eye on like doors and corners.
Mm-hmm.
Look for stairs, anything, you know, if there's a back like waiter's staircase or anything like that, and meet back up with the rest of the order.
Before we like sort of leave this saloon, FIBA will check the back. Like they have like a supply room. Presumably they had like some kind of, I don't know, kitchen or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm coming. So we bump into each other. I'm coming from the kitchen area.
I want to see if anyone was nosing around this place recently.
Okay.
So, like, if there's any kind of, like, sort of freshly moved objects, things disturbed back here. If someone came to town fairly recently, maybe they would think to check here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can see in the back room, you run across Lewis. It's a mess back there. Stuff's like there's fungus and weeds growing everywhere. There were some barrels. There still are some barrels, but what's left have been smashed and all rotting inside. But there are like drag marks from where there used to be barrels. Looks like they've been dragged through the back door, like through the back of the saloon and then out the front. That's probably in the last couple of weeks. But it's tough to tell with so much crap growing everywhere.
Right. So it's a mess.
The robot goes back to wiping down the bar.
I want to follow those drag marks and see, does it look like they're trying to do a fortification, or are they trying to, was there something in here? Were they climbing to the second story?
So yeah, the you can see that there's only one floor here, like one story here. It's pretty basic, just the back room and the front room. The drag marks lead out onto the road, down the village, like, or towards the swamp and the shack. Do you guys leave the saloon to investigate the tracks further, or is there anything more you want to do in here?
I think we're done here. FIBA will sort of raise her hand to wave goodbye to the robot.
It raises its arm. Howdy, what can I get you?
Before we go, I'll ask the robot if they know. Do you know anything about? So we're looking for Severn. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name.
Yeah. You know this fella Severn that we're looking for, Mr. Robot.
Howdy, what can I get you?
All right, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help.
It's worth a shot.
Sayonara.
It repeats it. It looks like it's stuck in some kind of loop. All right. So.
Well, is there? Would Lewis have any reason to like, you know, turn it off and turn it back on again? I'm no IT tech, but if these things are common-ish, or give it a little bit of a maybe try to give it a little bit of a kinetic adjustment.
Yeah, so you've known in the past that sometimes they can go a bit haywire, and sometimes a swift kick can help that, but also sometimes it can not help in a serious way. That these things are much stronger than a normal human and can react badly to kinetic adjustment.
I'm not gonna give it. I'm not gonna.
You've seen one of these run amok before in a village, and it wasn't pretty.
Okay. Yeah, I'll leave it alone then, and sort of just shrug.
Okay. Right. As you guys are leaving the saloon, who's Lewis was looking at the tracks, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you roll me a dex save, please?
Yes. Which means I do what?
Just roll a d20, and you're looking to roll under your dex score.
Oh, under it. Okay, great. not roll 3d20. Yep, 11.
Cool. You dodge out of the way as someone tries to bushwhack you, swinging a cudgel at your head, but you successfully dodge out of the way. You see there are two two scruffy people have emerged from one of the buildings and have cudgels raised. One of them has attempted to bushwhack you. The other one is rushing forward as well.
Okay.
Right. So, what would you like to do?
I will just. I want to take a step back to try to de-escalate, but also I think he's gonna drop his hands to wrap around the holster, the gun in his left holster, so he can pull easy, and sort of half draw the saber out and tell whoever's rushing to him that I don't think that's the best option you have in front of you right now, young man.
There it is. Yeah, they got the guns. It's them gunslingers. Get them. So it seems...
Okay, well, on get them, I pull my saber and one of my pistols.
Okay. Right. So...
I think get them is pretty universally understood.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Would you like... So there's one in front of you. He's got his cudgel raised, and the other one is coming towards you too.
Oi.
So what would you like to do? So are you raising your or attacking with your saber?
So whoever's the closest, actually, I'm gonna try to just gun that guy down and sidestep him, so that I've got the saber ready for the other guy.
Okay. So roll a 2d6 for the shoot table.
Alrighty. That gives us... I had shoot table up. Ooh, okay. I don't know that that's going to be great. 1 second.
So 9 and under is a hit, varying degrees of hit.
A palpable hit? Oh no, that's good then. We have a... yeah, I got deuces, so max damage.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so that is on your... so it's d6. So max damage. Are you using your 6-shooter? Oh no, sorry, it's d8, isn't it, for
yeah,
6-shooter?
d8 for the 6-shooter.
D8
is.
So you.
I got a 7.
Well, it's max damage. So.
So 8.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. So wow. You pull your 6-shooter, blast the thing in the blast the attacker in the chest.
I mean, I like to picture it that he's so close that it's one of those like can't really miss.
Yeah, exactly.
Target-rich environment.
So yeah, you pull out a 6-shooter, blast him in the chest. He flies back dead. The next one, Bert and Phoebe, you were short behind the Lewis, weren't you?
Yeah, if there's danger, I'm gonna cover my cow pal and fire a rifle.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2d6 on the shoot table.
All right. Okay. I don't have the shoot table in front of me, so I'm just going to tell you the... so I have a 6.
6 is a hit.
Okay.
And your rifle is d10, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So 4.
4.
Nice.
Okay. So blast the other one in the shoulder. And she flies back, kind of knocked off balance. Right, Phoebe.
I'm just going to rush out to meet this. So she just has a cudgel, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just going to sort of just walk out to meet her head on.
Okay. So she's kind of saw her friend get killed. There we go. All right. It looks like she's kind of debating running or not, and then seems to think better of it. And she's going to rush at you and hit you. It'll be Lewis is closest. She's going to hit Lewis with the cudgel.
Okay.
Lewis, you've got, what's your armor at the moment? Is it
1?
1. Okay, so you take 5 points of damage to your grit.
She's got the leather's for like a knife or something. So yeah.
Yeah.
5. So I'm down to 2 grit.
Okay. And back to you, Lewis. So she's just hit you with the cudgel.
I will, and I guess this potentially could change the damage of it, but I just use the saber, and I know like most cavalry sabers have that little scoop hilt, and he's just gonna, he might break her jaw, but at least he's not gonna run her through.
Okay, so you want to knock her out.
Lovely lady. Yeah, some non-lethal damage there with the saber.
Yeah, she's damaged enough. She's reduced. Actually, yeah. She's damaged enough already. She's hurt enough that you can easily subdue her with the hilt of the saber.
Okay.
She collapses to the ground.
And normally for a melee, it would be a strength check.
It would just be damage.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just do
Gotcha.
damage to her. But
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, so she's knocked out and combat's over.
Okay. Yeah, Lewis will sort of kick the cudgel away and put a boot on her wrist to keep her from getting up, and then just sort of nod at Phoeba.
Okay. I'm going to. While she's out, right? She's currently unconscious.
She's she's kind of dazed, not fully unconscious, but like kind of stunned.
I'm gonna check her for any other like small weapons or something anything she might be hiding on her.
You just find 1 piece of lead on her. So
Okay.
you can add that to your lead.
I'm gonna toss. I'll toss it to Lewis.
Okay.
And while she's, so I'm gonna while Lewis has his foot on her, I'll put my steel-toed boot on her like shoulder or something and just peer down at her with my terrifying eyes and just say, what do you want from us?
My damn shoulder. We was told to kill any gunslingers that came around here. Y'all are gunslingers, ain't you?
Told by who?
Lancaster.
Who the heck's a Lancaster?
So, you'll have heard of Lancaster before. She's an infamous harrier in the region. So a harrier is a failed gunslinger or a fallen gunslinger. So she's become a bit of a crime lord in the area. And Severn, you remember that Severn had run-ins with her too. So there's no love lost between Severn and Lancaster.
Okay. I wanna ask her, which direction is Lancaster in?
I don't know. She sent us out here. I don't know where she is.
Well, where did she send you from? Where were you supposed to go back to once you'd killed us?
She's always where she is. Well, where she usually is. She's in Toll. That's 2-3 days ride from here. She sent us here and just she sent us here to be with the others and to watch out for you guys.
How many others?
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 of us. She looks down. Yeah, 2 of us left, not including me.
Where are they?
Her eyes flick quickly over to the direction of the swamp, and then she turns back to you. Well, I don't know. It could be anywhere.
Um, so I'll so whichever direction the swamp is. So if the swamp is east, Lewis is gonna cock his 6-shooter and nod towards the swamp and say, "We're gonna go that way," which means you're gonna go that way, the opposite direction. As long as that's all right with you, Phoebe.
That sounds like a good plan. I wasn't planning on killing anyone just yet. I'll make sure that I take my foot off of her shoulder.
I do the same, but I leave the gun on her.
Yeah. Fine. You can do whatever you want. I'm out of here. And she runs over to her fallen friend and fishes around in his pocket.
I shoot the ground right in front of her feet as she goes towards me.
Hold on there. No need to get feisty. Oh, hold on. I'm just taking my share.
You're just nothing.
Your share is your life.
That's better than what I said. That's awesome.
All right. Fine. I'm a-going. And she, hustles off. So back.
I think that was in character. Like, you say that, and then Lewis, under his breath, is like, "Oh, so much better than what I said."
So she runs off back the direction that you guys came to the village. So she kind of leaving the village.
Okay. I will take the time to reload. I only shot two, but it seems, I don't know. Topping off, I guess you burn one lead whether you reload 2 or you reload 5.
Yeah, so it's generally better to use what you've got loaded before reloading.
I'll just keep in mind that one is that's
Did
that's
the
that. What's wrong with me? There we go.
Sorry, Kent.
Oh, I was just saying, I forgot. Can we check the dead attacker for lead or anything like that?
Yeah, he's got 1 lead on him as well. So it looks like this was payment for coming here.
I see. Okay. Here's some lead, Bert. So I think you need this.
Thank you.
Bro.
Appreciate
And Lewis, you'll regain all your grit as well, since you're out of combat and kind of have a nice quiet moment.
It looks like the swamp is the place to be.
Sounds good to me. Let's head that way.
All right.
Now, how is the route to the swamp shack? Is there maybe a sideways kind of approach?
So the village leads directly to a swamp area. It's fairly large, but right at the center of the swamp is you can see a shack.
Okay.
I'll describe it just a moment here. So the swamp, you can see waist-high fetid water stained black by the taint of the oil. Surface is mostly still, save for a herd of grotesque beasts that send ripples as they drink from the black water. A shack sits at the center, raised on stilts. So it's sitting about 8 feet off the ground in the center of the swamp on sturdy stilts.
Tell me about these beasts. They look dangerous.
So you've seen these types of creatures before, these beasts before. They're essentially mutated cows. Usually they only show up in areas of high pollution or where the water is corrupted. They've got eyes that are swollen, dull with sickness. They've got twisted limbs and pulsating tumors that weep through their patchwork hide. So you can still eat them, but you can get very, very little usable meat from these because they're so just filled with pollution and disease.
But they're still just cows?
Yeah.
Or are they like super aggressive mutant cows, or they're cows?
Yeah, they're a bit bigger than a standard cow, but they're no more aggressive. They're just they're still just cattle.
Okay, so yeah, then to Bert and Phoebe, I just say we might be able to spook them, cause a distraction.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Yep.
So
Sure.
So as you're kind of getting the lay of the land and checking out the cattle or looking at them, you can see a squat, heavily armored, spiked creature somewhere between a lobster and a crab that emerges from the black swamp across so kind of opposite where you guys are, near the edge of the swamp. It emerges and slashes at a cow's throat with an enormous elongated pincer. It kills it instantly, and then it drags the cow back down under the swamp.
Okay.
That you notice that that's where the cow was drinking from. That's where where it was sending ripples through the swamp, and that's where the creature came out.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if we can get them to stampede, that might cause the rest of those creatures to chase them or go into hide, and we won't have to deal with them.
Yeah, give it go right by the water, maybe.
I mean, I'll sort of head their direction, and as soon as I'm close enough for one of the cows to notice me, I'll just fire a couple of shots in the air to spook them to go the other way.
So you want to send them towards the shack.
Yeah, why not? Maybe if Severn's in the shack and we can get these crab creatures to go after him, why not?
Cool. Okay, yeah. So you fire a couple shots in the air. The cattle immediately react because the 6-shooters are immensely loud. All your guns are immensely loud. The cows rear back and then just start stampeding in the direction of the shack. It doesn't take them very long to reach it. You can see just sending like huge waves through the swamp as they stampede, revealing maybe half a dozen of these crab creatures underneath the swamp. As the water gets kicked up, or the swamp water gets kicked up, and splashes onto the shack. So they stampede into the struts or the stilts that are protecting the swamp, or projecting the shack out of the swamp. And you can see that the shack starts to sway back and forth as probably a dozen of these cows ram into the sturdy stilts. You can hear immediately shouts of alarm from the shack. What the hell? What the hell is that? One voice, and then another, a much deeper, rougher voice. Whoa, what is that? What's the damn cattle doing now? Yeah, so
that worked well.
Yeah.
So the cattle run through the swamp to the other side. You can see quickly behind them, are some of the lobster creatures chasing after them, eager for a meal. And the swamp slowly starts to kind of return to normal, and the shack is listing a little bit tilted in the swamp. You can see that it's doing that. There is a platform on the shack that you can lower into the swamp to allow access. That platform has broken loose and has fallen into the swamp, which means that you've got there's a ramp up into the shack.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, let's I say we take this chaotic advantage and go forth.
If we as we make it, I want to ask Phoebe and say or who has the I don't know why I'm asking you guys. Who has that that pot of grease?
Oh, the grease.
I got the grease right here.
Well, I mean, Phoebe, if we or I can tear something off of mine, we may be able to stuff something into the grease and use one of our shots and set it on fire, toss it up in there. It's pretty rickety. We might get lucky.
Yeah, we could take out one of the supports.
Cool.
Just set the whole thing toppling over.
Pop open the jar and sort of hold it so we can, if you want to use the grease, then.
Yeah. So just as we're walking, get a piece of fabric and, I've got a multi-tool. Pull the back off of one of the bullets. Yeah. Get some gunpowder on there. Just have it all ready.
Mm-hmm. So, the grease is flammable since it's like petroleum based. You can hear shouts, or you're close enough now to the shack that you can hear conversation inside. I tell you, I heard gunshots. That's what caused the stampede. There's someone out there. Oh, you don't know what you heard. That could be anything. Could have been damn thunder causing that stampede. Neither of the voices sound like Severn. Right, so do you want to set fire to the struts, or to is that like kind of coat or throw the grease onto the stilts?
Yeah, I mean, so my idea was up through the hole or through a window, but the strut might be a good idea too. Whichever the two of you think is better.
I don't know. I mean, I do like the idea of just setting the inside on fire. They can just chase them out, maybe.
Seems a little bit more foolproof. Just put it right in the middle of them.
Yeah. Well, you can do that. Just
who's got the best throw?
So it's. So the shack, you can see that it's been boarded up and reinforced. So there aren't any like open windows, but there are some. Yeah, there's there's some gaps in some of the windows, but not really big enough to toss something into it.
Well, no, maybe setting it.
As long as we can catch it on fire somehow.
Yeah, right at the joint of that really bad, the worst looking of the supports. Maybe that is the best idea then.
Okay. Yeah, you'll be able to find where it's been damaged the most from the stampede. You can coat that in the grease. It would just take a little bit. You've all got torches as well, so you can use that to light the grease and to kind of catch the stilt on fire.
And I'm gonna go ahead and reload since I'm down to 2. And someone gave me lead. I'm going to go ahead and reload that now. Okay. Just in case.
Right. So you're going to set fire to the stilt. So is that in hopes that someone's going to come running out of the shack?
I mean, I think either way, we could hide behind a couple of trees. Either someone runs out, or it's so messed up that a big section collapses and then they have to all come tumbling out.
Okay.
I think that's the best plan.
So do you guys are you guys gonna like pull back from the shack a little bit outside of the actual swamp water? Where do you want to be positioned around the shack?
So maybe sort of like the edge of the swamp water, away from the shack, but like we can easily fire on them if we see anyone come out.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I'll be 10 or so feet away from Bert then, and give another angle.
Mm-hmm. So you want to have like visibility of the door, I assume, just so you can see. Okay. So you can set the fire, no problem. With the grease, it goes up pretty much right away because it's mega flammable.
It's super effective.
Exactly. It takes a few moments, then you can hear more shouting from inside the shack. Oh, now the damn shack's on fire! What the hell's going on here? Go out there and have a look. See what's going on. No, you go out there.
These are not criminal masterminds.
The gruff voice, you don't recognize the voice itself, but you recognize, you've heard similar voices coming out of certain creatures before. So there are there's creatures that aren't quite human. They have the head of an animal. Sometimes it's a vulture or a coyote or a rat. So normally they're hired muscle. They work for some of the higher ups. So they're generally known as bestials, just because they've got a beast head. So you think that's probably the voice of a bestial. The other one just sounds like a normal human. So yeah, you can see the door open up, and a bulky figure comes out with the head of a vulture. Just a moment here. He's carrying a saber. He's got a saber drawn in one hand. And he's wearing old-fashioned clothing, but it looks really, really gaudy. Like it's a weird combination of clothing that doesn't really go. Like he's got no fashion sense. So he comes out and starts poking around, looking around the shack. What would you guys like to do?
I'm just watching Bert and Phoebe for their play.
How does it appear that they come and go from their hut? Is there a boat or anything, or like a ramp or stairs or anything like that?
Yeah, so there's a platform that's been knocked loose, and that's how they get into and out of the shack. There's a path where the swamp is a bit less deep, like it's a rough path that you can still walk through. So that's how they get to and from the shack.
Okay. I think I want to position myself so that I can cut them off from that particular escape route.
Okay.
And I'm gonna aim the rifle without firing at least for now.
Okay.
Phoebe will do the same. Just she's got her repeater ready, but she wants to see if more will come out to deal with this fire problem, because it's probably not going to be solved as quickly by one bestial. So.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's kind of looking around, sees that he can't really see the stilt from where he is because it's underneath the shack, but he can see the smoke just billowing out of the shack, and he felt the impact from the stampeding cows, so he knows that it's off center, off kilter, and he shouts back into the shack, "Yeah, damn shack's on fire! Grab some water. I'm gonna see what I can do to put it out." So he starts walking down the platform, looking up to see how bad the fire is. Anything you'd like to do at this point, or are you gonna wait to see if the second person comes out?
I'm gonna keep one gun on him and then point the other gun at the door, so I got options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the same. Just prepared for when the other person comes out. And hopefully if we can time it to when they both turn towards the shack, we can just sort of get a beat on both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you see in a moment or two, a woman comes running out with a bucket full of water, or you don't think it's all water since she's kind of holding her nose as she's carrying it. So So the bestial walks down into the swamp, looks up at the fires, just trying to like spray water up onto it. She comes running out, holding the bucket. She's got a machete tucked into her belt. It's bloodstained, and she starts throwing the water onto the fire, or the bucket.
I look at poor Phoebe and just sort of like do the like.
Yeah. So we should. Yeah. So Phoebe wants to just sort of open fire on these people. We know they came here to kill us.
Yeah, that's fine. We're the devil's company, so let's do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So she's going to fire on the bestial.
So I'll so who's going to be shooting at who, and we'll tally up the damage.
Yeah, I think we all just unload. I'll do one at the bestial and one at the old lady.
Okay.
Not old lady. That makes me feel really bad.
Yeah.
I know.
Very, very capable.
One of the
and
frail
She's a
old-
strong, independent woman.
Just the voice of an old lady.
Yes.
And Bert, who are you gonna be aiming at?
Bestial.
Bestial. Okay, cool. Right. So can everyone make a shoot roll, please?
Yes.
I have a 10.
10 is a miss, unfortunately.
Yep.
Oh,
All right, so my first one is at the bestial.
Actually, sorry, Jeremy. You've all got the drop on them, and
Okay.
you've prepared. So anything less than a 12 is going to hit
Okay.
on shoot. So everything less than a 12 will hit, just given the
Okay,
situation.
Cool.
Okay. Then my first one at the bestial hits, and then my second shot is at the woman, which also hits.
Cool. And Phoebe, how was your roll? How was Phoebe's
I
roll?
rolled a 6.
6. Cool. Okay, so so if everyone can roll their damage for the bestial, and then we'll take the highest result of those 3 rolls.
Got a
Only up
7.
2. So 7, 2, and
Ooh, I got a 7.
7. Cool.
Nice.
So the bestial takes 7 points of damage.
We come out blasted.
And for the how much damage for the woman?
8 maxed it out.
Nice.
Oh my.
All right. All right. Yeah. So your shot catches her just right, catches her in the forehead, and you see her head just detonate from the impact, and she's instantly killed.
It was quick.
So the bestial spins around like stunned at what's just happened, and you can hear him bellow, and just the thunder of your guns just echoes around the village. It sounds like Judgment Day is coming, and he's just scared shitless. He's gonna drop the bucket and attempt to actually he's gonna run. He's had enough of this. He's not getting paid enough. He's gonna attempt to run. So where you guys are, he's gonna attempt to run in the opposite direction. So further into the swamp. He's just in flight mode now. He's gotta get out of there. So he's running now. What would you guys like to do?
Who has the rifle?
Yeah, Bernie.
Bert. So yeah, I'll look at Bert and say, "You got this."
I'll give it my best try.
You can do it, big brother.
I will. Thanks, sis. So I believe I'm going to do 2d6 shoot table. If
He so I'll say you won't have to because he's fleeing. So yeah, you can just roll your damage.
Okay. Interesting. All right. 8.
8.
Nice.
Yeah, you catch him in the back of the head, and he just slumps forward into the swamp.
Oh no.
And you can see the lobster monsters kind of rise up and just start tearing him apart and drag him down under the swamp.
There's your lunch.
After the cacophony of the guns dies down, you hear a weak voice call out from the shack. Gunslingers! To me! It's Severn. You recognize his voice.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, let it burn.
I want to at least go up to like the entrance and peer in and see what this rat bastard has to say.
Sure, yeah.
I want to be poised to give you cover then, because I mean, we know he's a gunslinger, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll say that the fire is burning, but you're not in imminent danger from the fire. The wood on the shack is fairly wet just from being in a swamp, so it's going to take a while. But you won't have ages and ages, but you'll have a bit of time to investigate. Right. So you enter the shack. You can see remnants of broken down furniture scattered around a dark and dingy room, filled with a pungent smell of farts and filth, cheap liquor and blood. You see 4 stained bedrolls that lay on the floor around a soot-covered stove. Opposite the entrance is a closed door that's been barricaded with boards and stacked with broken furniture, as if to block people from coming out of that room, or block exit from that room. The closed door is reinforced with iron bands, but it's been peppered with bullet holes and barred by heavy rotten boards, and stacks of broken furniture serve as a crude barricade.
So can I follow the voice?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from deep in the
So the shack is pretty small. It's only this front room and then the back room, and it's from the back room that you've heard that you can track the voice.
Okay, I'll before I go into the house, I'll motion to others that I'm going in.
Yeah, I'm there to help give cover. Well, but hold on. It looks like. What if these were? What was the woman's name?
Lancaster.
What if these were Lancaster's men and actually got the drop on Severn, because he's trapped in that back room?
Well, then I guess they did part of our work for us. But I want to hear what he has to say.
Okay.
So, just approach the door and be like, "All right, Stevens, what do you have to say for yourself?"
Phoebe, is that you?
You know it's me. Who else did you think would come for you?
I knew you would. I knew Old Scratch wouldn't let me down. Hey, open the door. Let me see you face to face. His voice sounds really strained, and he sounds really hurt.
I'm gonna use my steel-toed boots to kick the door open.
Okay.
with my repeater in both hands.
Yeah. You can easily take the boards off of the door, kick the barrels aside, and just kick the door open. Well, it would be it opens outward, rather than inward. Yeah.
So I'll just pull it open and then train my gun on wherever I think I find it.
Right. So the back room is dark and dingy, with the acrid smell of rot heavy in the air. A rusted bed frame sits at the center of the room, and all windows are boarded up. There's a slumped figure that sits on the bed, clothes stained with blood. It's Severn. So he's deathly pale and with drawn skin, He's got his hand on his revolver, but it looks like it's pure instinct rather than any aggression. He looks up at you. Phoebe, it is you.
How did you come to be in this situation, Severn?
I tell you, it's my own damn fault. I thought this group would be all right if I paid them enough, but turns out they sold me out. They sold me to Lancaster. I found what I was looking for, though. I got him. I got the rat that killed my dad. So, you know that, having ridden with Severn for a long time, that he's been hunting for the man who killed his father for 20 years, and so that's what he's referring to. He was that was his main, it was his driving force, is to find the man that killed his father. Got him, Phoebe.
Well, congratulations. What does that have to do with what you did to Isaac?
Well, I got a lead on Francis, and I came to Isaac, and I said, I gotta go kill this sumbitch who killed my dad. And Isaac said no. Isaac said that the order came first, and that I couldn't go. I'll tell you what, I did what I had to do. I'm sorry as hell, but I had to kill that bastard.
Well, that is a sorry story. Irony is, if I were the errant at the time, I would have let you go. But I'm the errant now, and so we have to deal with this.
Yeah, you speak true. I always knew you had it in you, Phoebe. You're gonna make a hell of a good errant. Are Bert and Lewis still with you?
Just sort of step out of cover with
I'll kind
pistols
of
drawn.
motion back to them and say, they're here.
Good. Crew's still together. Y'all gotta stay strong after this. I caught a bullet, if you couldn't tell, taking down Francis. He leans back and you can see he's got shot. Looks bad. He's not got much longer. I hoped you guys would come. I want to go out like a gunslinger, and I know that y'all are the ones to do that.
Well, I guess seeing as that you've achieved everything you wanted to achieve on this earth, we could oblige you that final request.
You say true, and I say thank you. So what he's asking for here is a duel to the death.
Oh.
I looked to the others. I said, help him up. I'll be outside waiting.
Come on.
Yeah, help him up.
Cool. So you have no obligation to honor his request. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, he's asking for a gunslinger duel.
Yeah, no, that's totally that's what we're doing.
Cool. So Phoebe, is it going to be you who takes up the duel, or one of the other gunslingers?
I'm fine with it being me. If anyone else feels,
No, you've got this connection going. I'm entertained.
Yeah.
Go for it.
yeah, we can. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Cool. So
Alrighty.
you guys help Severn up.
What kind of guns does Severn have?
He's got a 6-shooter. It's not just a revolver. It's not an actual 6-shooter. He left his 6-shooter when he left the order, but he's picked up another revolver. So, but he still shoots on or he still rolls on the shoot table as a gunslinger.
As they get set up for their thing, and all of that kind of stuff, and we're helping them out there. I want to take his 6-shooter and just leave him the one bullet.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't put up any resistance. He agrees with that.
But I don't pocket the other 5. I just kind of show them to him and drop it in the mud in front of him.
Yeah. He nods. So how gunslinger duels work? It'll be a contested heart roll, so a heart save. So both sides roll for heart. Just let me get the specifics up so I make sure I'm correct. So you both roll, attempt a heart save. If you both pass, then it's the gunslinger with the lowest roll that hits. If rolls are tied, then the gunslinger with the highest heart roll, with the highest heart ability score hits. If one side fails, the other gets, like the winner's shot hits, and if both sides fail the save, then both of you get hit. Right, so you're kind of at a distance. Phoebe, it's a repeater you've got, isn't it, Phoebe? Yeah, cool. So yeah, it'll work the same. So you're set up opposite. You can see Severn stand up straight, and his hand goes to his gun, and you can see the change in him as he assumes the stance. You can see steel come back up into his body, and you can see his eyes go cold.
I nod to him. Like, okay.
Yeah. You can see that's the gunslinger coming out in him, and the same thing starts to happen to you as well. All right, make your heart roll, please.
Okay. Oh, a 1.
Okay, so excellent. You rolled a 1. That means
Right,
it's a critical hit. So that instantly causes Severn to make a critical damage save, and he rolls a natural 20.
Okay.
Bad, right?
Yeah, which is
You've
bad.
been struck by God's guns.
Exactly. You like lightning. Your repeater. You draw and fire your repeater. He doesn't even have time to react, and you just blow his brains out essentially. But yeah, it couldn't have gone any better. Just instantly, like that's a hell of a way for a gunslinger to go out. You can see as his body falls back, you can see a smile on his face, and he's at peace, and goes to the clearing at the end of the path. All right. And
So you said he left his actual gunslinger 6-shooter with us.
Yeah.
I think that Lewis, now that he's dead, would actually go and put his old 6-shooter in his hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do that. Put it into his hands. His revolver is still in the holster, but you put his actual artifact gun in his hands, which is the gun that belonged to his father. So it's fitting that it's returned to him.
Yeah, we can't keep that.
Yeah. All right. So you've come to the end. You've tracked down and dealt with Severn, and that's the end of the scenario.
Nice.
All right.
Cool. Rock and roll.
Awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh wow.
That's a hell of an ending. That's really good.
We did
That was
it.
good. It was pretty cool.
The
It was
Order of
dramatic.
Old Scratch. Yeah.
That was very dramatic.
All right.
Neat. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I really like the gun mechanics, like the way you had like the shoot table. That was pretty.
Hmm.
It's pretty fun every time
Yeah,
gunfight broke out.
Yeah, I wanted it to feel different enough from like just a standard weapon, because it's because the whole game is built around it really, and so I wanted the mechanics to be different. And even if you're playing in like a Karen adventure, for instance, if you're if you're a gunslinger, then it would be different. Like the mechanics would be different. Cool. Yeah, I wanted it to, and I didn't want it to be like I wanted there to be a low chance of missing with on the shoot table.
yeah. Well, and I mean, I like the mechanic of it too, because it's and I think this is a problem with a lot of systems that have guns, is that like I mean guns are deadly,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I like that this really is. I mean, 1 or 2 hits and you're down.
Yeah. Even like Karen, there's a principle that like a bullet to the head will kill you. It doesn't matter how much armor you have, and it doesn't matter how well trained you are.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
Everything else
having
out.
us. Really
Yeah, thanks. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And it's nice to meet and play with you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Thank you.
fun times.
All right,
All
see y'all.
Check you later.
Thanks.
See you
Take
later.
care.
Thanks, guys.
Bye bye.
Very cool. Very, very.